and welcome to this week's news bulletin from the Christian Institute. The Scottish Government has said it will press ahead with plans to redefine marriage. It has ignored its own public consultation, which shows that 2/3 of people are opposed to the plan. But it says the legislation will not come into force until the Westminster Government has changed the UK Equality Act to protect people who support traditional marriage. Dr. Sharon James from the Coalition for Marriage reacted to the news on ITV's Daybreak.
The Scottish Government think this is the right way forward. You don't agree, do you?
Well, nor do the majority of people who've responded to their consultation. The Scottish Government's going over the heads of 2/3 of the 77,000 about people who've responded to their consultation. They're behaving in a profoundly undemocratic way. And already expert legal opinion has warned them that they're walking into a minefield as far as freedom of conscience, freedom of speech is concerned. And looking at the countries that have introduced same-sex marriage, we're very, very worried that there will be profound consequences for freedom of speech.
Meanwhile, the Prime Minister has accused churches of locking out gay people by saying marriage should only be for one man and one woman. He made the controversial remark at a Downing Street party for gay leaders, where he repeated his determination to redefine marriage by 2015. He also said he was proud to follow in the tradition of former Prime Minister Tony Blair, who introduced civil partnership laws. But the Christian Institute's Mike Judge said, Tony Blair passed laws which closed down faith-based adoption work, led to Christian registrars being sacked and Christian B&Bs being fined. Is that the tradition that Mr Cameron so proudly wants to follow? It is incredibly arrogant of him to tell churches what religious beliefs they should and shouldn't hold. The High Court has said English law trumps Sharia law in a ruling about a divorce between a Muslim couple. The husband has been ordered to pay maintenance to his ex-wife, even though he believes he owes her nothing under Islamic rules. But Lord Justice Ward said the husband must abide by the rules in this country. The case puts a spotlight on the problem of Sharia courts trying to set up a parallel legal system in England. A bill which tries to tackle the problem has been introduced to the House of Lords by Christian peer Baroness Cox. An influential committee of MPs has recommended that the laws on gambling should be weakened. It wants betting shops to be able to have more high-stake gaming machines. But the machines are so addictive that experts call them the crack cocaine of gambling. The plans have been sharply criticised. Gareth Wallace of the Salvation Army said, "This is a one-way street towards more addictive gambling machines in our communities. We're perplexed that the committee would recommend a further liberalisation of gambling machines when they have heard evidence that problem gambling is on the rise." A Daily Mail editorial said, "Even during the boom years, it was indefensible to encourage breadwinners to squander their earnings on gambling. Now, when families have to look after every penny, it's downright immoral. What's worse is that the MPs are well aware of the harm addiction can do." Research from America suggests that children who view sex scenes in popular films start having sex at a younger age. Psychological researchers looked at nearly 700 popular modern films and analysed them for sexual content. Then they interviewed over 1,000 teenagers about the films. 6 years later, the same people were asked about their own sexual behaviour. Dr. O'Hara of Dartmouth College in the USA said, "Adolescents who are exposed to more sexual content in movies start having sex at younger ages, have more sexual partners, and are less likely to use condoms with casual sexual partners. These movies appear to fundamentally influence their personality through changes in sensation seeking, which has far-reaching implications for all their risk-taking behaviours." And finally, with the Olympics about to get into full swing, a city in China is set to honour Scottish Olympian Eric Liddell. Eric Liddell was the Christian runner who won gold at the Paris Olympics in 1924, inspiring the film Chariots of Fire, and famous for refusing to run on a Sunday. He later became a church missionary in China, setting up schools to help those less fortunate than himself. One of his former pupils, now aged 86, has written the first biography of Liddell in Chinese. He remembers his old teacher fondly.
He was a nice teacher. He was very, very kind to the people. He was very, very good teacher for me. He was very, very, there's nobody can compare my former teacher.
Well, that's all for this week. For more information and regular updates on all of our stories, plus much more, visit our website at christian.org.uk. Until next time, goodbye.